joking too, sipping and roasting. Yeah, that's what we do. Set 'em up, knock 'em down, make that cherry glow. Whiskey and cigars, the gentleman's cologne.
Cheers, y'all.
Well. That sounds like a party about to begin, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as the world-famous Smokin Toastin. And you have landed on show number 359, and it is our Smokin' Token. Every now and then.
That's a totally different spin-off.
Every now and then that happens. It may be Freudian. The Smokin' Toastin Christmas show for 2023. Welcome and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and whatever you celebrate. I hope it is joyous and wonderful, and even if it's Festivus for the rest of us, because that's important too. We have as our special guest today, for the first time sitting on this side of the mic, other than in some segments and stuff, but for the first time sitting on this side of the mic, and perfect timing for our Christmas show, it is our Uber producer, Adam in the cloud. Andrus, Adam, welcome to the show.
I'm no longer in the cloud.
You're no longer in the cloud. He
Feels
exists,
good to be
ladies
back.
and gentlemen.
He's here.
He exists.
He descended on a sunbeam into the studio.
So today's show is going to be a little different because it is our Christmas show, and we have a number of things to talk about that are holiday related, and also beer and cigar and spirits related. And we'll be tasting. On a normal show, we usually taste one spirit and 3 beers, unless we have a guest who brings more, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I think this being the Christmas show, we should absolutely double that and add 2 more. So we'll be tasting 8 beers today.
My lucky day.
Yeah, and lots of beer.
It's a good thing I'm going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, not only are we tasting 8 beers, but they are all either Christmas or holiday releases. So, and we want to, if it's possible, to take a moment of silence here on the show for what is missing. For the first time, for the first year since we've started doing Smokin' Toastin', there is no Anchor Brewing Christmas Ale. And we'll just take a moment of silence. Makes me feel wistful about those holidays of the past with Anchor's Christmas Ale. Honestly, it was something I look forward to every year. And of course, this was the year that Anchor Beer was sold and then their new owners shut them down. There is a group of people, including former employees, who are working to raise the money to try to buy the assets and reopen Anchor Brewing, and so we send them our warmest holiday wishes.
I don't understand that board meeting. Hey guys, I got this great idea. Let's buy this brewery. This is actually a brewery that's historic. It's been there forever. It's one of the earliest craft breweries that's been in continuous.
It's been said that Anchor started the craft beer movement in America.
I mean, so like let's buy this, and then we'll just shut it down.
Right, and it wasn't, but a few months after they bought it that they shut it down.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand any of that business.
The first time I had Anchor Brewing was at Big Star in the Heights at that it's like a dive bar, complete dive bar, and then it was just such a awesome moment. First time trying it, and I was like, "What is this Anchor stuff?" I heard somebody talking about it. I was
it's
like,
good.
"It's so good." I was
really
like, "Oh, it's sad it's gone." But
it really is. It is very sad, and buying something and closing it down. What are you, Bain Capital? Because that's okay. Probably only a couple of people will get that, but those who did will laugh.
Only a couple of people who've worked in radio and they've done that to a few things.
Laugh like Terry. So thank you, Terry. I appreciate somebody getting that. We are going to have some whiskey on the show today as well. This is and I'm going to do my very best to pronounce this right. Ameireaganach is the name of the distillery. This is called Burns Night, and this whiskey has won a number of different awards, and it is from Atlanta, Georgia.
So nice bottle.
Yeah, nice looking bottle. So
it looks nice.
So we'll be.
Well, it was facing off the side a little bit, and I only saw just a little bit. It looked like the Eagle Rare bottle almost.
It does look quite a bit like Eagle Rare. Burns Night apparently is a reference to Monty Burns.
No, I was just no way.
No,
really?
no, it's
Okay,
not. From The Simpsons. Smithers. It's not. It's actually and I'm not really up on my poetry, even though I'm occasionally inspired to write it. I don't really know my poets that well, but there's a poet I think. Pete Burns? No. Pete Burns is in that '80s band Dead or Alive. So that's not. Anyway,
David Byrne. No,
that was spelled differently.
My favorite David Byrne quote ever when Talking Heads were still together. He was being interviewed on MTV, and it was back when they did that Stop Making Sense movie, and he wore that enormous coat. And the MTV VJ asked him, "Why do you wear the big coat?" And David Byrne says, as straight faced as he can, "Because it makes my head look little." I was like, love this guy.
Yeah,
love this guy. I could use something that makes my head look little. I have trouble getting into caps and headphones and everything else. So Christmas and winter beers, some Burns Night single malt whiskey, and we also will be very excited to bring you a holiday edition of Drinking News. Our Drinking News teaser headline is "The happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby danced with Danny F and K." You all recognize that line, I hope?
Of course.
Yeah. So
Clark Griswold himself.
Yes. So we look forward to that. We'll tell you about another upcoming spirit that we didn't need. Tell you about some cigars to watch for, and this I'm really excited about this. There's a new list on one of the big beer websites of the worst beers in the world. So I reached out to Adam and Ian, and we're going to present you with our short list of what we think are the worst beers in the world. Then we'll look at this list and see if any of our beers that we picked are on it. So, and it was funny because when I texted Adam, he goes, "Does it have to be craft beer?" I'm like, No. No. In fact, it probably shouldn't be, unless you came across a craft beer that's really, really bad.
I have one.
Okay, all right, good. Well, we'll look forward to those lists and all of that coming up, and we are going to start our drinking today. Other than the cider, which Terry provided, which was really, really nice for
good show cider. Cider's pretty palatable,
pretty good.
Actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we should have done that as the mystery bev, but we do have a mystery beverage, and I've already poured and passed these around. So, guys,
fruity.
Let's try this out and see what you think.
Citrusy.
It is a little citrusy on the nose.
It's not hazy.
Yeah, no, it's it's opaque though.
It looks like my favorite flavor of Gatorade.
Oh yes, like Frost.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know
flavor,
what you're talking about.
Frost.
Yeah. All right.
Right off of the bat, tastes like Sprite. Right on the front palate.
Fresca.
Yeah, kind of like that with a
Fresca.
with a bad, like fake sugar aftertaste.
But
just like Fresca.
Fresca had that.
Just like Fresca. This tastes just like
Remember,
Fresca.
There used to be there were only two diet sodas in the world.
Tab
right?
and Fresca.
Tab and Fresca, and the aftertaste was a little more palatable, I thought, on Fresca than it was on Tab.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, up front it's nice and sugary, but at the back it's a weird. It's a little weird.
You're right. You're right.
Hard pass.
Yeah, Ian, this is the opposite of what you like.
Yeah.
Hard pass. No, that's officially gross.
And it is officially
Or grody to the max, if you will.
Fresca mixed original grapefruit citrus vodka spritz.
I had no grapefruit.
That sounds so much more interesting.
Where's
than
the
it tastes. I
grapefruit?
didn't get any grapefruit either.
What the?
Well, Fresca always,
Fresca,
purported to have a grapefruit.
It should just say
it did. It
flavor.
always this tastes just like Fresca.
It should just say effervescent drink mixed with sugary ass sugar. But not real sugar.
How do you get the real sugar taste up front though, and by the time you get to the finish, it devolves into the Fresca.
That's Fresca. That's Fresca.
Well, see, this is why we taste that on the aftertaste. On the bottom of the can it says vodka with natural flavor and artificial sweeteners.
Yeah,
that's why it has the artificial sweetener taste.
I don't taste the vodka at all.
Yeah, just no vodka.
I'm sleuthing this out. I don't have proof.
That's really
I don't taste the vodka at all.
No, it just tastes like Fresca. I mean, it tastes like
So is this their new line they're trying to push? Or?
I guess so. I just stumbled across this week. So
my mom used to drink Fresca. Maybe she would have drank that 30 years ago.
I mean, if you,
by the way,
let me also say that I won't like any diet drink is safe in my fridge. I just won't even touch it. Like,
right.
I've got no use for it. I will drink water.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I will drink water.
I know.
Like, you put a Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Coke in my fridge, and it will be there the next time you get there.
Well,
unless Tiffany drinks it. But
yeah. Well, as far as this is concerned, I
still can't get the taste out of my mouth.
I got 5 more if you want them.
Yeah.
Because I had to buy a 6-pack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They don't come in.
I was like, okay, we got to try this for a mystery bev. Oh man, I got to buy a 6-pack.
I'm trying to scrub my mouth with cider.
It reminds me, like I say, when I was a kid, my mom used to drink Fresca, and I would go into the fridge, and there would be nothing to drink except for water and Fresca. I'd be like, oh, and I'll take the Fresca, and that's how I know exactly and called it.
So it's going to be it's going to be interesting.
I will say this though, I'm not a Fresca fan, but everyone in here immediately said Fresca,
right?
And
so they were successful.
That is a success.
They really
on some
did.
level. So
That's
if you
a
like
good point.
Fresca, maybe you love this.
If you like Fresca, you have to love that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I like it. So we'll get to some other things to hopefully wash that taste from your mouth, Ian.
I'm going to sit over here and sip on some turpentine.
And I think that's the best wrap up, by the way, for the mystery beverage. If you liked Fresca,
Yes.
you'll probably like this.
Dead on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and it has some vodka. So maybe after 13 or 14 of them, you might be feeling a little.
Yeah. Really can't taste the vodka.
It's coming in at a smooth 5%. That seems to be the number that all those.
Yeah,
all those try to hit.
seltzers and hard seltzers and all of that. So Adam, our former studio producer, now our Uber producer in the cloud, is on the show. You and your wife relocated to Washington D.C. How long has it been?
Sir.
It's been 2 years ago.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost
ago.
2 years. Yeah, I think it'll be 2 years in May.
And
It's been almost exactly 3 producers ago.
Do not get me started. But Adam, I was wondering how you found the craft beer scene to be there. I know I came in when I was able to come and visit you guys. We definitely picked up some good craft beers, many of which we brought back here to be able to enjoy in the show. But how would you compare it to what you were used to in Houston before you left?
It's not as plentiful as Houston, but there's definitely a few. If you know where to look and where to go, there's definitely some awesome craft brewers. They're doing some great stuff there, but I think just outside of DC too, just in like the Virginia area, just in even in Maryland, they have some awesome craft brews.
I was
going
to
to
say we've had a few really good craft brews from the Maryland area, and I understand around Frederick, Maryland, which is about maybe an hour from you.
Something like that.
That's got a little sort of craft beer scene booming there in that town. So but it's interesting, because you come. You leave there from here where you've got, St. Arnold, our sort of holy grail, been here forever.
Yeah, there's nothing like a St. Arnold there.
And all these great little places popping up and all these tap rooms and brew houses and stuff. The scene really is exploding. In fact, we might have to tell you on this show about the U.S. states that produce and drink the most beer. It might surprise you. So maybe we'll get to that if we have time. We got a lot to cover on today's show, and it is the holiday show, so Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
As of the airing of this show, Christmas will be only a couple of days away.
Aww.
And Ian, I hope you remember what I told you that I wanted, that just one cigar.
Just the one, AJ?
Yeah, just the one cigar that was like $100.
$100 for the one cigar.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll take it. Or the one with the gold leaf was even more than that. Maybe I'll go for that one.
Yeah, that's right. Just one cigar is all he wants.
We're going to take a break, and when we return, the beer tasting will commence. The Fresca taste will be washed away, and this is Smokin Toastin. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Smokin Toastin. Our show is about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. This is our Christmas show, so we're really excited. We're also going to be talking about the worst beers in the world, but before we do that, let's get to some good beers. And we're going to start our Christmas celebration with one I think we're all familiar with, but every year when this comes out, I get a little excited because that means the holidays are around the corner, and there's some good drinking to be done.
When this comes out in July.
In July, yes. The holidays are right around the corner, and there's some good drinking to be done. No, it's just like Christmas tree decorations.
Yeah, I was going to say that stuff comes out in July anyway. Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
So
Get you in the mood.
Why not go ahead and start singing
if
carols?
If you listen to this show for more than a few episodes, you probably know that I'm a huge fan of the St. Arnold Christmas Ale.
Yeah, it's just this is no surprise to any of us because we've all had it, but I just couldn't exclude it from our Christmas celebration.
As a matter of fact, laying it down as a standard for
it's a good starting point. That's what
ales.
I thought, because we know we like this, and we're going to be doing. It's not a blind taste test, but we will be, I'm sure, comparing one to another. And by the way, not all of them are going to be the same style of beer either.
Right.
They're just beers that have been designated by their breweries as holiday beers. So
St. Arnold,
this one's been coming out for a long time.
Christmas Ale, rich and cheerful.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming in.
No wonder you like this.
7.5%.
7.5. Yeah, there you go.
You know, I love that.
Well, this also means that the holidays are the time of year to enjoy St. Arnold's Christmas Ale and to make my yearly request to the St. Arnold Brewery. And that is, please bring back the holiday seasonal you released, I think, for only 1 year, which took this Christmas Ale and combined it with St. Arnold's very first IPA, Alyssa, the Sailing Santa. That was delicious, and I have tried pouring them in together at home, and it does not work. It's not
the
the
Alyssa
same.
IPA is particularly good.
Well, that was the first St. Arnold IPA, and they've got Art Car kind of came along and eclipsed it in terms of sales and stuff. Now I love their Juicy and the Harmony, but Alyssa was the OG. It was the original.
So they don't over at St. Arnold's, they don't tamp things down until after they put something out real big. And Alyssa was a big IPA.
Yeah. Well, they also have the Banger IPA, which is a big IPA.
And with this, I feel like it's such a soft bitter on the back end. It's like
100%.
It's such a soft, chill. It's like anyone who doesn't like IPA could still enjoy this. It's still just a soft, like.
It's so easy to drink, and it has a little bit of that caramel malt character to it.
Robust.
So good.
Yeah, maltiness to it right up front. It has a bright finish. And it has a little bit of that bitter, like you're talking about, but almost like an ESB bitter, not a hoppy bitter.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate here in Houston, where we live and where the show originates, in that our sort of like hometown brewery, St. Arnold, has not only a Christmas ale we anticipate every year, but an Oktoberfest that we anticipate every year that is just outstanding.
The summer pills.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They just nailed the seasonals. They really
the
do.
seasonals are so
and
good.
the Springbok is worth looking forward to as well. So, in fact, that's about to come out next Tuesday. So, so we're looking forward to it. Now, I know they have to do that to get it on the shelves in time and all of that kind of stuff. But I will just say, I almost stopped ordering Oktoberfest by the end of October because I wonder how long it's been out.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I was, this Christmas ale is probably getting, like, we need to drink it.
Exactly. And we always need to
drink
drink
it. That being said, I did just buy a 12-pack of it this week. And I will drink it by the...
I'm sure you'll get it gone before it goes bad. I'm sure. Oh, man. Well, like we said, a lot to do. We haven't even talked cigars yet. Ian and I both have a cigar we want to talk to you about. So that's coming up. We also have some very, very interesting holiday beers, many of which we've had this one, but many of these are going to be new to us. So I'm excited about getting to these. We'll do all of that when we come back. It is Smokin' and Toastin'. Our show's about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Adam Andrus, our producer, is our guest today, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Smokin' and Toastin' is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. So 2023 has been a big year for us. That was the year we got our radio syndication started, and we're now heard on a handful of broadcast stations around the country, and we expect that to grow in 2024.
What's up, New Orleans?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. So nice to have you guys on with us as we celebrate the holidays with Christmas beers. But before we get to the next one, Ian, I wanted to ask you if you had the opportunity to smoke anything interesting this week.
It's funny you should ask. I did. I picked myself up Sencillo Black Edition Limitada Nicaragua 2023. This is a 4.5 by 50 Robusto. The appearance is milk chocolate brown, semi-rustic, and oily and very firm feel overall, with 2 bands on it, the big S, with the black underneath it, so you know it's the black edition, because they also have a platinum edition. And then there we go. And then it has the secondary band that says the limited edition. And then a pre-light sniff on this sweetened chocolate with coffee and some cake batter kind of sweetness to it as well. The pre-light draw on this, I used a punch. It had a gentle draw of sweet fruit and mocha is what I got right off the bat. The initial light, Nicaraguan pepper blast. So I didn't get a whole lot of information on what the wrapper was. I think the wrapper is a Honduran something or another, but
the something or another. That's a great leap.
Something or another. Yeah, I'm being so honest. No, I looked it up and I spent some time trying to figure out what it was. All I got was basically Nicaraguan binder and filler and a Honduran wrapper. So,
okay.
But I did the initial light on this and I got the Nicaraguan pepper blast. Right there, right up front, along with sweet coffee and chocolate, quickly settling into a medium-strength spicy coffee and chocolate bomb. Retrohale is woody and sweet with pepper. The first third of the cigar, cedar and tangy leather, lead the way with the underlying chocolate and sweet creamy note. Full, satisfying smoke delivers a medium-strength experience. Retrohale is cedar and sweet with pepper, solid ash, good burn. The second third of the cigar, dark fruit and chocolate notes weave throughout with the tangy leather and cedar. Spicy pepper remains a consistent undertone. Retrohale cedar and sweet with pepper, solid ash, perfect burn. The last third of the cigar, sweet and creamy notes combined with cedar and spicy pepper to create a complex bouquet of flavors. Retrohale cedar and sweet with pepper.
Nice.
Price to quality. This thing was $8.50.
Nice.
7.
Seven.
7 on the scale.
Wow,
I will buy
lay it on
these
us.
all day long. It was fantastic. It was right up my alley as far as the
love
leather
it.
and the chocolate and a little bit of coffee and sweetness. It was absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend this.
Wow.
Nice. Well, I want to tell you about the one that I smoked this week. I smoked the Hammer and Sickle Robusto. Now, I have to admit, it feels a little weird to smoke a Hammer and Sickle cigar. I mean, just from the name and the logo, it makes me kind of wonder, am I doing something bad, something unpatriotic by smoking this? Or is it more like watching one of the great Robin Williams movies, Moscow on the Hudson? You saw that movie, right?
Right.
Yeah, I defect. That's great. Or the amazing series, The Americans on FX. Seriously, if you haven't binged it, do it. It's awesome. That is a great show. Kerry Russell naked. Need I say more? In any case, the Hammer and Sickle brand, made by Davidoff, is an interesting cigar. It consists of Dominican filler and binder tobacco wrapped in an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, promising an interesting blend. Because you got all that, get all that Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and you got filler from the Dominican Republic. So I used up a punch and started to check it out. The pre-light sniff and the cold draw reminded me of going to the movie theater. It wasn't overpowering, but it had that distinct sort of buttered popcorn vibe. You know that you smell as soon as you walk into the movie theater, right?
When you said reminded me of going to the movie theater, I could not imagine unless you were like on the set at Cape Fear or something like that.
Well, there's that.
What does that mean?
Well, there was a distinct buttered popcorn vibe to the Hammer and Sickle on the cold draw. Once I lit it up, the butteriness remained, although not so much the popcorn. Instead, I got oak and caramel and a tiny hint of pepper. Construction was solid. The ash held on for a little more than an inch before dropping into the tray. Burn line was nice and straight. Strength was mild, leaning just a little bit towards medium. Second third was not wildly different from the first. I did get some cedar and some sweeter notes that developed with pepper on the retrohale. So far, so good, and a lot of flavor for a milder cigar. Final third zeroed in on the cedar. Butteriness remained, and I determined that it's really more mild than medium, but the pepper does give it a little kick, right? Bottom line, for a mild cigar, I like this a lot. I don't smoke a lot of mild cigars, but when I'm in the mood for one, this one, would do it. It never, devolved into that stereotypical just grass and hay that some mild cigars, what I'm talking about, right? It never did that. And it was buttery and toasty to the very end with pepper and wood notes, keeping it interesting. Construction was spot on, and it should be. Because in the Robusto size, the Hammer and Sickle cost me between $9 and $10. I guess that's become normal for a Robusto.
Yeah.
I guess it's not outrageous, but it is enough.
I mean, mine was only $8, but
Yeah.
you had to pay the Davidoff tax.
Right, exactly. And $9 to $10 for a Robusto isn't outrageous, but it's still enough that I think you can expect a certain level of quality.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, which in this case, it delivered. I really enjoyed it. I even smoked it, or I enjoyed it even if it smoked in under an hour. Usually you want a Robusto to be about an hour. But anyway, the fact that I got distinct flavors and zero construction problems, I will give it a 5.5. And that's one thing you can say for Davidoff. They do market a whole lot of cigars that are not worth what they charge for them, but construction on Davidoff products is usually quite good.
So here's my take on the Davidoff. Davidoff, I don't know anybody who picks up a Davidoff cigar and goes, "Man, this doesn't taste good." Right? That's never the complaint about it. I don't know anybody who complains about construction on Davidoff. That doesn't make sense. It's just the price.
Right.
The price is big. Like, they are big, and you expect a lot from that. And they don't make huge flavored, huge strength cigars. Medium is really like that. Medianoche is like the
every
biggest.
now and then they'll put one out, like a very limited, that's got a little more kick to it. But yeah, you're right. And if you feel like you're not paying enough for your Davidoff cigar, you can always go for a Zeno by Davidoff, because they for whatever reason, that cigar attracted the attention of the hip hop community about 20 years ago.
Jay-Z.
And then that was it,
for
man.
obvious reasons.
They just absolutely blew up,
Yeah.
and so they raised the price on them all. You know, it's they're a marketing
That's
company.
for real.
after all.
Jay-Z picked up Zenos because it had the Z on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were good cigars, so
Yeah.
it's it's
They are
hard to
good
go wrong
cigars.
with that. But yeah, they blew up the price pretty hard.
Anyway, well, Hammer and Sickle, don't smoke it around your most patriotic friends. They might get the wrong idea, but other than that,
Yakov Smirnoff would be proud, though.
oh, see, you had to bring up Yakov.
You were naming all
Smirnoff.
these things, and you didn't
Oh
name
my-
Yakov Smirnoff.
No, there's a reason, because he's awful. Like, this is a human being. He had one joke. Toilet paper lines in Russia. That was it. That was his only joke. And he just told it over and over. He was terrible.
He did a whole stint on Night Court, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what about Get Her Done?
I rest my
I still don't
case.
understand what's funny about that.
Well, at least, I don't think Get Her Done is funny, but he does have some pretty funny redneck humor.
Yeah, but you
so
know
many
what?
rednecks walking around saying "Get Her Done."
Here's the thing.
and
When
laugh about it.
Yeah.
What's funny about that?
I get that, but then when you couple that with "I did a Disney movie," then you're rich. That's how that works.
That's exactly right. My favorite thing about his comedy, which I've seen a little bit of, is when he says something he feels like where he may have crossed a line. He'll say, like, "I'm sorry, God bless the pygmies in Africa," and that's funny to me because I grew up in church being told to pray for the pygmies in Africa. So that's funny to me.
Oat Cream Double
That's funny
IPA,
right
dry
there.
hopped on Comet, on Citra, on Azteca, and on Eureka. Even Rudolph couldn't light the way through this hazy IPA. Ho, 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 y'all.
So Ian is holding a can from Ingenious, a local Houston area brewery. And these guys are out of
This
their minds,
can
by the
is
way.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
It's
called
got-
On Comet.
It's called On Comet, and it's got a reindeer popping out of a...
We have some B-roll that Adam
Christmas
can insert
box.
in this too.
Yeah, popping out of a Christmas present, and
He's clearly had a few.
he's clearly had a few. Yes.
Yeah. So
I
this.
love that you're committed to this, because like our first beer was coming in at a paltry 7.1.
Yeah,
So now the second beer you've raised to an 8.1.
See,
I love where you're going with this.
It's going to be a fun show. That's all I can tell you. So this one is actually an IPA. Not a lot of holiday beers are IPAs. So
No.
this is
I gotta
very
say off the bat, they nailed this one.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
amazing.
They did.
This
well,
is amazing.
Ingenious, what I love about them is, A, they're not afraid to try anything. Like, they will go for some of the strangest, craziest beer ideas, and sometimes they don't hit.
This
but
has-
boy, when they
This
do,
has a
is-
little touch of that artificial orange slice that
Mhm.
you get around Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the best way. It has this,
I totally understand
It
what you're
has
saying.
this
Yeah.
total like a little bit of that going on right before the end of the
This
palate.
this is freaking delicious. Is what this
It's
is.
Way
really
too
good.
easy to drink too.
It
For
is. It
8%.
is so good.
Oh my
You can
god.
see why Comet's a little bit on the tipsy
Yeah,
side.
no lie. Yeah, that's
I tell you what, Ian, we've got to get those guys back on the show.
We 100%.
That
I'll
is
be
it.
reaching out to them.
Yeah, that's a thing we need to do, because when they
That's
come
right,
on the show,
Ingenious, I'm coming for you.
when they come on the show, they have a tendency to bring stuff that's even weirder than what you find in the stores all the time.
And dude,
and I love that.
If you've ever been to the brewery, their brewery has the weirdest beers.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like it's absolutely crazy.
Dude, I want to know how they were able to make this like the finish on this is so
It really
amazing.
is.
Yeah.
It really is like drinking orange juice, isn't it?
Yes.
Like,
It finishes so clean
Yes.
and just nice. Like, man,
So good.
Yeah.
wow.
All right. Well,
Go
we started
Ingenious.
off with two hometowns, and they really went quite well, I think.
Oh, yes.
Now, this isn't exactly hometown for us, but it's not far away because this is Abita from
is next
Louisiana.
door.
Yeah, this is like next door. And you want to talk about Louisiana. We had on last week's show, if you didn't catch it, go back and watch it. We had the Ghost in the Machine Imperial version from
Holy
Yeah.
Toledo.
that was
Yeah.
one of the best IPAs ever. These
Yeah.
guys already had one of the best IPAs of all time.
And then they upped it. Like that one went
Yeah.
to 11 in the best way.
Yeah, I'm jealous. And get to
All right,
try
this
that
one is pouring foamy no matter how I pour
Yeah,
it.
that's a
I
big.
have one at the
big
house
head.
for you for Christmas.
All right, let's go.
So yeah.
Like, I got this.
So,
Yeah, it's a big head.
so Adam and his wife will be joining my wife and I and other family members for our Christmas celebration, which is going to be Sunday. That's how hard it is to get
wow.
on Adam's calendar.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So
Don't do that. Don't do that.
we're 2 weeks early, but it's okay. It's
Hey,
okay.
you know what's nice about that? Then
Yeah.
Christmas is over with for you. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm good.
Yeah. It's going to be
I'll
awesome.
just smoke a cigar on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Each year at the Abita Brewery, we craft a special dark ale for the holiday season. Then Papa Noel harnesses up his team of gators and makes a special delivery.
Love it. I will say I have a kind
Did
of
he take him to the vet? Sorry, that was just too easy.
I have a kind of a hot and cold relationship with the Beata's beers. They have some that I just don't get.
I agree 100%.
But they have some others that are fantastic.
You know, I get what they do. Like their Purple Haze has a certain fan base. It's not my favorite, but it
yeah,
has
it's
a
not my
certain
favorite
fan
either,
base.
but it does have a fan base. You're right.
But Turbo Dog,
Turbo Dog's good.
Turbo Dog is just something different, and it's real good.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I mean, I'll try anything Abita, like just because it's.
And so,
Abita.
what is this one? Is it just Christmas Ale? What's it called?
This is Christmas Ale. The recipe changes each year.
Okay, so this is the
that Abita
2023.
Christmas Ale is always the perfect gift.
the 2023 Christmas Ale.
Yeah, this is the new one. Brewed and bottled by, let's see, we already know that. Abita Brewing Christmas Ale. Doesn't say much else on there. Oh, wait, here's some information. It says, according to the Surgeon General, women shouldn't drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy.
Oh, I need to put this down now then.
There you have it. But Abita Christmas Ale, and it's funny because it's got the Santa Claus, and he's being pulled by
Gators.
by gators.
Yep, you gotta love
Yeah.
that. Well, you haven't tasted this yet, have you?
I have not yet.
Well, it is absolutely not an IPA. Like
It
it is.
smells-
It could not be more different from the last
smells
beer.
fantastic. It smells like a fruit cake almost, like beer bread and fruit cake.
that's a good description of that.
Definitely bready.
Oh, come on. That's fantastic.
I had a feeling you were going to like this one.
It's
I hadn't tasted
It's
it.
like crusty bread.
It's like a little slightly like brown crust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And,
you know how some
and
kids'
fruit
moms
cake and
cut the crust off the bread when they make their kid a sandwich. It's like somebody took all that bread crust and made a beer out of it.
so maybe I'm weird.
Toasty.
I love the crust.
yeah,
I do
I
too.
can't wait to the end of the bread and just make sandwich out of the crusts.
Yeah, I'm the same
we
way.
call that the
Love it.
heel.
Yeah.
That's what my mom would call
Yeah,
that.
the
That
heel,
last
that's right.
piece.
Yeah,
But you
the
got to
heel.
keep the heel on there the whole time you use
Right.
the bread because it keeps the rest of the bread fresher.
Until you get to the very
yeah.
end, and then you've got two heels, and you make a heel sandwich.
And you know what's real good is a heel sandwich that's a grilled cheese.
We were
Ooh.
Yeah,
we
buddy.
were so poor when I was a kid, and this is not a line. This is an actual thing. We were so poor when I was a kid that when we got down to the two heels in the bread pack, my mom would make a heel sandwich, but in order to make it more palatable to kids who often don't like all the crust, it would be a butter and sugar sandwich. She would butter the two slices of bread,
Wow.
mix sugar around in the butter, put them together. And that was the heel sandwich. It was always you always fought
You
for the heel
wanted that,
sandwich.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Which
man,
may
I was no stranger to mustard and cheese sandwich too.
I was going to say, which may explain some of the pharmaceuticals that I have to take now. But we're going to take a break, and we still have drinking news coming up. We have not started. We'll do this in the next
So
segment.
good.
We'll start with our list of the worst beers while we continue to. We're on a roll here with these beers, though, so we'll
Great.
continue to taste these holiday beers. It's Smokin Toastin. It's our Christmas show. Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody. Welcome back. It's Smokin Toastin. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We're glad you're here. It's our Christmas show. Adam Andrus, our Uber producer in the sky, is not in the sky this week. He's joining us in the studio and tasting Christmas beers with us. And while Ian pours that, I'm very excited about this list that I found. I found this list online, and I immediately closed the webpage. I bookmarked it so I could get back to it, closed the webpage, because it was a list of the worst beers in the world currently by one of the
you don't want to spoil it by reading it.
By one of the beer websites. It's AmericanCraftBeer.com, worst beers in the world. And I thought, I want to read this for the first time on the show, but then I thought we should do our own list. Now, this list is probably 10, 20 beers. We should do our own list, though, of the of our top 3, Ian and myself, worst beers. And I asked Adam to do one, too. I don't know if Terry has 3 worst beers, but you'll have a chance to chime in, Terry. So, Adam, let's start with you. Your 3 worst beers in the world, according to your taste.
Being that I haven't tried all the beers in the world, I'll say the beers that I've tried.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we have to have tried them to know that. Right.
But
that's a requirement.
I'll say start off number 1 is it's a Watermelon Dorado by Ballast Point.
I don't know. Have we had the Watermelon
I think
Dorado?
we did have that on the show at some point in time.
Is that where you tasted it? Was it here on the show?
No, I had it. I bought it at the I don't know, grocery store, HEB or something. Because I was just looking for something fun and just different.
You thought you would like it,
exactly.
Right?
A Ballast Point. Oh, safe.
Right.
But it looks interesting. Watermelon. Okay, well, let's see what's going on.
Here's the thing I've learned about beers that say watermelon in the title. Run away.
Yeah.
There's one that I've had. There's a watermelon goza. I can't remember who makes it.
Gozas? Okay,
good.
so gozas are a different thing. So I'll agree with that. But yeah, anything else watermelon.
Yeah, and I think they had a couple other fruity selections, like something with a fruit.
They have a
title.
grapefruit sculpin. That's a good beer.
That's a good beer, though.
Yeah, and then so I ended up picking up this one, and I took it home, and I cracked it up and was like, oh, can't wait to try it. And I didn't even finish it. I was like, hell no, this is terrible. But yeah, that was not good. And then there's another one I had when I was in Colorado visiting some friends there in Denver, and we went to a brewery. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the brewery, so that's disappointing. But I had a smoked porter. And I've had a smoked porter before that was okay, and I was like, oh, I'll try another one. They're like kind of selling me on it, and I was like, yeah, sure, try it. And took a couple sips, and it was just like literally drinking a campfire, but in the worst way. You know what I mean? It was like drinking an ashtray.
Totally,
you know what I mean? I was like,
understand.
oh my God. I've never returned a beer. At any brewery, bar, anything, I've never returned a beer. I returned this beer. I was like, no way. I can't drink it. I just can't even drink. I just couldn't drink it.
Right.
The burp is like it's terrible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so, and then third, it's got to be Bud Light.
Bud Light.
just because Bud Light. No,
all right, Ian, let's hear from you.
So I can't remember the name of it, but I'm gonna go with one of them that I remember the most. There was a brewery that opened up in the Heights here in Houston, and it was Heights something, not Great Heights, because Great Heights makes great beers.
Yes.
It was something Heights, or anyway, it was just right up the road there. And every beer they made was awful. I could not believe how bad their beers were. I just was blown away every time I tried it.
Not just a beer, but a whole
I think I remember
brewery.
you telling me about this.
Oddly enough, they went out of business.
Oddly enough, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put up any beer that says Chilada.
Okay, that's fair.
Ouch.
That's fair.
I mean, if you're
and there's
buying
a lot of that here in Texas.
If you're buying it in a
there
can that
is.
says Chilada, it ain't going to be good.
Yeah, I got you.
I just heard someone cuss at you in Spanish.
Heineken Light.
Heineken Light, really?
Is freaking awful. Remember that light beer that you brought from the Mexican lager that you bought?
I do remember it.
Okay, it's worse than that.
I almost put Heineken Light.
I'm sorry.
Heineken is
there
bad
is
to
no
begin
beer
with.
worse than that.
Heineken in a bottle is bad anyway, but Heineken Light is real bad.
I'll give you my 3 real quick before we go to break.
And
here.
Montucky Cold Snack, my friend.
Yeah, that's my number 3, Montucky Cold Snack. Number 2 for me, Bud Light Lime. Ian will point out that at least it has flavor, and I will retort, yes, but the flavor is furniture polish. So that doesn't go in the plus category. And number one for me, it was referenced earlier, Dos Equis Mexican Pale Ale. It is terrible. It is a disgusting insult to beer, and I encourage you, do not take a chance. Do not buy it. You will not like it.
We may
it's
have to have a
awful.
showdown with the Heineken Light.
A worst beer blind taste test. We have to invite
Joel for
Joel
that.
because we had him on when we did the.
I'll be
We're
back
gonna
in
taste
DC
all
for
the
that
worst beers in the world.
All right, we got to take a break. We will get to the list and we'll get to more tasting and a whole lot of that in our second hour. If you're somebody who only gets the first hour of the show, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Please check out the rest of us online. YouTube is a good place to do that. We're Smokin and Toastin, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Hour 2. It's Smokin and Toastin', our show about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Ian is cracking them open because we're going to taste a couple of beers in this segment, and then we'll get back to talking about worst beers in the world, which there's a list from AmericanCraftBeer.com, and we will be parsing it and telling you what we think. First, though, Ian poured this in the last segment. We didn't get to it, so I want to drink it before it gets too warm. This one, I believe, is Shiner's Holiday Beer. Is that
Shiner
right?
Holiday Cheer.
Shiner Holiday Cheer. And I don't think this recipe changes
I know. I
from
think
year
this
to
one
year.
stays the same
Yeah.
every year. I think it's kind of a popular thing. Like my sister loves this beer.
Yeah.
Smells
I've,
nice.
I've had it over the years and have never like reached out for it again. So it's interesting because I haven't tried it in quite a few years.
Well, it'll be
It's
interesting to see what you think. This is the most fruitcakey of the beers so far.
It smells great.
Yeah, it smells wonderful.
It's
Oh, yeah?
buttered pecan on the aftertaste.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And is there such a thing as holiday spice? Because I feel like it has
I
a
think
holiday
so.
It tastes
spice.
like holiday
This
spice.
is
if there
ale
is.
brewed with peaches and pecans
Oh,
and natural
peaches.
flavors and caramel color. Coming in at 5.4%. Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner, Texas.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but apparently, according to what I've read, peaches come from a can.
They're put there by a man.
That's what I heard. Yes, I just this is where the millennial
Millions
goes,
of
huh?
peaches?
What?
Right?
Like
yeah.
millions of them?
Yeah,
Peaches
well-
for free.
Yeah, I'm going to move into the country, I think, and
Okay.
eat me a lot.
Eat
of
a lot
those.
of peaches?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
That was a song by a band called the Presidents of the United States of
Yes,
America.
sir.
And it was the stupidest song ever, but sometimes I can't get it out
And
of
it
my
made
head.
a
So
hit like Gangnam
stupidly-
Style did.
Yeah, right.
So stupidly catchy.
Yes.
So this is very drinkable. I don't know that I'd reach out for it again, but there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
it.
I
Like, it's
I
kind
enjoy
of fun.
this. It makes me feel holiday.
The
Yes.
aftertaste is better than I remember.
I would,
Yes.
I would say out of all the ones we've had, this is like the lightest mouthfeel. It's like
Yes.
For sure. Yeah,
but it
for sure.
also has that buttered pecan aftertaste, which is
Right.
really
Yeah.
kind of intriguing to me. I don't know that I've noticed that before.
It's light, but very holiday
It's been
like.
years since I've had it.
So
It does say on here. No, that was on this one. Sorry.
So before we get into tasting the next beer, and Ian, I think you've still got a couple of those to pour, I want to get started on this list of the worst beers in the world because it's 50 beers long. I just looked at the end of it. So let's start at the bottom and go. Number 50, Old Milwaukee.
Okay.
Number 49, meaning it's worse.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not the worst of the
So
worst.
these are going from better to worse at this point.
Right. Number 50 is Old Milwaukee. Number 49 is Old Milwaukee Light.
Old Milwaukee. We barely made the worst list.
Yeah. Number 48 is Beer 30 Ice.
Oh,
I like the name Beer 30, but I have not had this beer.
that's so
like
bad
half this
sounding.
list is going to be lights and ice.
Yeah, I was going to say, who came up with the whole ice thing anyway?
And what does it have to do with anything?
I don't know, but it is certainly not a guarantee of quality. I can tell you that much. Number 47, Budweiser. Number 46, EDI Piwo Matinee Nelfitrawane.
That's easy for you to say.
Did you
I
say
have-
Idi Amin and Nelson
Yeah,
Mandela?
I think so. I think so. Number 45, Corona Light.
Yeah.
Number 44, thank you, Ian, for introducing me to this, Old English 800.
Old E.
Number 43, Gin Ball King Benefit Lager 10, 10 degrees. Number 42, Coors Light.
Yes. Oh, of course, Light is not good.
Number 41, Old Milwaukee Ice.
Oh,
I feel like
ouch.
you said, ice is going to be on this list.
Oh yeah.
Number 40, Tooheys Extra Dry Platinum. Number 39, Foster's Ice. Number 30,
Foster's is not good. That's Australian for blah.
yeah. Number 38, Pabst Ice.
So Pabst Blue Ribbon got an honorable mention on my list that we didn't get to earlier.
I got to figure.
I didn't know they made a Blue Ribbon Ice or whatever it is.
You got to figure the guys at Pabst were sitting around one day in the conference room, right? And they're like, okay, PBR's gotten kind of hip with like college students and all that. What can we do to capitalize on that?
Ice is in right now.
We'll make an ice beer. Molson Ultra is 37.
Molson
Molson is
Ultra.
bad.
Molson Extra Light is number 36.
Regular Molson's got to be on there too.
Number 35 is something I've never heard of called Harbo Yellow. Number 34 is Camo Silver Ice High Gravity Lager.
All right, now there's a can I would never reach for.
What is high gravity?
What is wrong? If you can't figure out something's wrong with that beer from that name.
You know what? If we can't sell it, we're just going to add more syllables to it.
Number 33 is Bud Ice. Number 32 is Miller High Life Ice.
So much ice.
The champagne of ice beers.
Number 31 is Miller Genuine Draft MGD Light.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, because Miller Genuine Draft wasn't light enough. They needed to come out with a light version of it.
You know what? We can engineer this to make it worse.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they did at Miller. That's exactly what they did at Miller when they took their best-selling beer and turned it into what came in as the 30th worst beer on our list, Miller Lite Ice.
I'm starting to see a pattern to this list.
Yeah, there is a
name
pattern.
Every macro
Adam
brew and
called
put the
it.
word ice after
Yeah,
it.
that's right. And apparently that's what a whole bunch of people did at different breweries. So,
I don't understand.
all right, let's take a break from the bad beer and talk about what I hope is going to be a good one.
Yes,
This is Sweater Weather. Ian, tell us about this beer.
This is from Lakewood Brewing, which
So that's just out to the north of us.
yeah, they have their
Joel Osteen?
Temptress.
Yeah, this is Joel Osteen's.
They have their Temptress series and a bunch of other stuff. This is funky though.
Yeah,
It's a winter warmer ale, and I do not like this at all.
really? No, I kind of like it.
wow.
I kind of
Yeah,
like it.
it's good. The funk is weird in it.
I expected you to like this, given
No,
your taste.
to
in it.
me,
It tastes slightly smoky at the back end, like a.
But it's not too much. It's not like what
it's
you were
not
talking
too
about
much
the
for
smoked
sure. It's
porter.
definitely not too much, but it's there for sure.
it tastes like hot dog water.
That isn't.
I can't untaste that. Thank you for ruining this beer for me.
No.
Oh my
I'm
It
sorry,
doesn't.
Lakewood.
It tastes like hot dog water with nutmeg. No, I'm just actually, but it
you say-
does have an interesting holiday.
Hey, dude, it tastes a little like hot dog water.
this
Put some
is-
nutmeg in there. That'll
Yeah,
do it.
that'll be good.
This would not make my worst beer list, but it's
I
not.
think
don't-
it has
I
a
don't-
fruit cake type part
I
in
agree.
it that is
I
very like
If
it's.
you cook your fruitcake with hot dogs, yes.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I was gonna say people are
So-
very polar about fruitcake. Some people hate it, and I
Speaking
can see
of-
how that could be.
Speaking of things that are polarizing, wasn't one of the Limp Bizkit albums named something something in the hot dog flavored water? I don't remember what the
Maybe.
something was. Somebody will have to look up that. Where is
I have to Google that one.
where is some of our old guys when we need
If
them?
only there was a device. Yes, we need you on Stark.
On
right
Stark,
now.
yes. If Bruce could figure that out and
I
get
think
it
it
to
would
us,
be
so.
hard to drink two of these. Like I
I,
could drink
I,
the one
I
can.
agree,
don't
but
like
I don't-
this.
I don't hate
keep trying
this
to
the way
go
you
back and try it, but there's just something funky in here. That
I really kind of thought you were going to like this, Ian.
It's not bad. It's just not great.
It's like ale brewed with hot dog water.
Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored
Chocolate
water.
starfish, because
What
we
the
know
hell?
that's a thing.
Yes,
That was a Limp Bizkit album.
Limp Bizkit album from
I mean,
2000.
the band's name
yes.
was Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit, they were like the hottest thing in the world for like 5 minutes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when it was over, it was
It
over.
crashed pretty
It
hard.
was Vanilla Ice over. I mean, it was just like, seriously, they
Milli Vanilli over.
Milli Vanilli over. Yes, absolutely. All right, let's get back to bad beer. Number 30. I told you this one. Miller Lite Ice. Number 29. Milwaukee's Best Ice.
But it's the best ice.
I have never heard of number 28. It is called EDI Mito. Mietowe.
No idea.
I don't know. I don't either. Number 27 is also one I've never heard of, called Bernstein Soar, and it's spelled SOR, but it's got the little umlaut over the O.
Things to run away from.
Yeah, what Bernstein Soar. There is PC 2.5G Low Carb, a pale American lager. There's Gordon Explosion Gin Spices, and I want to mention that Explosion is spelled capital X. PLOSIO capital N. Explosion.
Keith Richards and the expensive winos.
Honestly, Gordon Explosion Gin Spices sounds like a really bad rapper. You know?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's number 25. Camo 900 High Gravity Lager.
All right, when you name it Camo, I'm not in. I'm not
You're out already.
Yeah, what's that can look
That's
like?
You lost me on that.
At number 23.
I saw a real tree. I was in a bookstore and I saw a real tree camo Bible at one point in time. And I don't know why that's funny, but I know it is.
Yeah. It's for when you need to hide your Bible.
Yeah.
Trying to shoot it? I don't know.
I have a
Has
picture
anyone
of that somewhere.
ever shot a
I
Bible?
was like, what is going on with
I was out
Laker?
hunting for deer, but I lost my Bible now.
Yeah. Son, have you read your Bible today? I can't find it, Mom.
It just blends in with the surroundings.
At number 23, making this particular line of beers first entrance onto the worst beers in the world. By the way, this list came from Rate Beer, which is a website, Rate Beer. Making their first appearance on our countdown, as Casey used to say, Bush Beer at number 23.
Bush.
Yeah, so I lived in St. Louis.
Head for the mountains, my friend.
I lived in St. Louis, and I was there for 4 years, I think. And during my time there, I just ran into tons and tons of people drank Bush. I'm like, you at least drink a Budweiser. At least there's something going on there. You know, don't drink. It's terrible. Yeah, number 23 on the list. But number 22, one I've had before. I think you may have too. Ice House Light.
Ice House Light.
There's several things wrong with that, just in that name. Ice House and Light. That's number 22. Number 21, Ian, you predicted this one. Budweiser Chelada.
Yeah. Anything Chelada. Ice and Chelada are going to kill this list.
If Bush
or Clamato. Like, there's got to be a Clamato on there.
And if Bush Beer appearing at number 23 wasn't enough, number 20 is Bush Ice, and number 19 is Bush Light.
Yes. Well.
Wow.
So there you go. Old English 800 3.2 comes in at number 18.
Of course.
And the 17th worst beer in the world, according to this list, is Bud Light.
Wow.
Bud Light.
Look at some of the stuff. It's worse than.
Yeah.
You
Old
remember
Milwaukee, all of them.
When we did our blind light beer taste test, like Bud Light didn't make it on anyone's list.
Right. Nobody picked it. Yeah.
Nobody.
It's terrible.
liked it.
Yeah. B40 Bull Max 8% comes in at number 16.
Now,
You
there's
think
only
that's
one
a malt
reason
liquor?
for that beer.
You think there's a malt liquor there? Beer 30 Light is number 15. Keystone Light is number 14.
Keystone Light, no so bueno.
Bud Light Chelada is number 13.
Cheladas.
There it is.
Istarsco Tartuffe is number 12. Have not heard of it.
I don't know what that means.
Labatt Sterling is number 11.
Labatt is bad in the first place.
Shout out to Pamela Anderson.
So we're here now in our top 10. Number 10, Keystone Premium. Number Premium. Number 9, Milwaukee's Best Light. Number 8, Miller Genuine Draft MGD Light 64.
Oh.
Like they had to make it genuine draft, they had to make it light, and they had to make it 64 carbs. That's horrible.
Like, hey, the worse the beer is, the more syllables we have to add.
Ian, I think you're going to be excited about this one because you and I have had this one on the show. Number 7 is Budweiser Select 55.
Oh, not
Do you
so
remember when we
bueno.
tried that? This was their attempt to do craftish beer.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably. So bad that they're
Craftish.
number 7 on the list. Number 6, Michelob Ultra, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5, Dark Horse Lambic Want Blood Orange is number 5. Number 4 is Sleeman Clear 2.0. Number 3 is Camo Genuine Ale. And at numbers 2 and 1, number 2, Natural Ice. Number 1, Natural Light.
Okay.
Wow.
There's our list, ladies and
Natural light is natural ice is better than natural light.
Yeah, from
Perfect.
ratebeer.com. Go check them out. And you can check out Drinking News. That's coming up. Plus, we have more to taste, including, I'm excited about this, some
All
Burns
right.
Night whiskey
That
coming
is
up.
hilarious.
Welcome back to Smokin Toastin. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And in the category of spirits we didn't need, Doritos.
Doritos?
That's the first word in my report.
What does
yes.
Doritos have to do with spirits?
Doritos is introducing a new way to captivate their customers with a unique product. A spirit that tastes like nacho cheese.
Now, you remember every time you're at a Mexican restaurant when you get that chili con queso and you look down at it and you
yes.
think, man, I should just dump some vodka in there. Like, what the heck are they thinking? Like, who wants...
Nacho cheese, I want to say, is one of the greatest flavors that exist. That's known to man.
It's true.
It's amazing. Like,
But there's a specific way to imbibe nacho cheese, right? And
I
it
think
should
of
be
this-
dripping off of a chip.
I think of this like I think of another element of Mexican food, which is hot peppers. I want my food spicy and my drink not so much.
My food cheesy, but maybe not
Maybe
mine.
not my drink. Exactly. There's a real reason here that you would want to go. So Doritos is partnering with Empirical. It's a Dutch company known for creating custom spirits with creative flavors. And Doritos is releasing a limited edition flavor that will be available only online. It's going to be $65 for a 750 milliliter bottle.
See, now I can just go up and ask for that particular liquor and get a shot of it instead of the bartender looking at me weird when I'm like, hey, man, can I get some cheddar and vodka, please?
Yeah. And they have been looking at you funny when you do that. Yeah. This is not the first unusual food-related product from a major brand. Kahlua and Absolute Vodka recently launched a fragrance that smells like an espresso martini.
That sounds okay.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. And Dunkin' Donuts, of course, turning their iced coffees and lattes into canned cocktails. I've yet to try the canned cocktail that I think is wonderful,
that's
but I
okay
get
too,
it.
though.
Yeah.
Like ice coffee and Kahlua, or you know, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. You know what else sounds pretty good or smells pretty good? This whiskey.
The
Burns Night.
Ameireaganach. It says on here that Ameireaganach is Scottish Gaelic for American.
Okay.
I'll
take your word for that.
Ameireaganach, it says on the bottle. So
Okay.
I'm just reading right off of here with information. A series of single malt whiskeys. We explore whiskey's frontiers, deriving inspiration from these pioneering spirits who have spent their lives forging into uncharted land.
This is smoky.
It is smoky. It's
In a good way.
peated. And I was not expecting that, like on the nose, because I didn't think about it. It's just called Burns Night.
But now that makes sense too. Burns Night, the smoking of the peat.
Coming in at 46%. So it says on here, each January, the life and poetry of Scotland's national poet Robert Burns are celebrated with readings, traditional fare, and of course whiskey. The annual
It doesn't say Montgomery Burns.
No,
Smithies.
I'm invincible.
Sounds like a dream Smithers would have.
Yeah, right. Burns Night.
Burns Night.
The annual
Burns
gathering
Night.
is known as Burns Night. We could think of no finer name for this dram, which sees us combine the ancient Scottish method of double copper pot distillation with the southern innovation of grain-in installation.
I think it's delicious. I really do. I think the peating is more subtle, and it just kind of lingers a little bit in the finish.
Are you a fan of peated whiskey?
I can't say that I'm a fan, but I do enjoy some of the peated stuff. But I mean, for this to be like so balanced and complex and have the peat, like this is awesome for anyone who wants to, get introduced
This
to
would
the
be, I
peated
think, a
stuff.
great peat in the door if you're
Sort of a
interested in
gateway
peat,
peated whiskey.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got a pretty decent peat profile to it, but
But
it's
it
not
doesn't-
obnoxious, and it
yeah.
also finishes with more of like a roasted caramel kind of thing.
It's not a Lagavulin or a Glendronach.
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of heavy, right?
Yeah, right. It's delicate and it's really balanced. And it's really, really delicious.
It evaporates out of my glass really fast.
And by the way, it's a gold medal whiskey from the most awarded craft whiskey distillery in the U.S. since 2018, the Ameireaganach that we mentioned. And Ian's pouring more, and we're back next with Drinking News. It's Smokin Toastin. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Smokin Toastin. And I just wanted to confirm something. If you are in the Chicago area, you can find at your neighborhood liquor store a bottle of Jeppson's limited edition candy cane Malort. It exists. It's out there.
I mean, I have a bottle of barrel-aged Malort. It says BAM.
Yeah, that's just wrong. It's like, why would you barrel-age something that's horrible in an attempt to think that it might get better with aging?
Man, but think about the opportunities of taking that barrel that was used to barrel-age Malort and then using that with a nice fine whiskey or...
Can you imagine? Like Glenfiddich orders some Malort casks, right?
Used Malort casks.
What you use that is for firewood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they take a whiskey
put
that's
that fire out for 3 years now and it just won't go out.
They take a whiskey that's been aging for 15 years and put it into the Malort cask. And then 2 or 3 years later, they sample it. We've made a grave error, gentlemen. We've made a grave error. Save this one for last, Ian. This one is one that you and I tried at our company holiday party. This is from Bell's.
This one is brilliant. You know I'm a fan of Bell's anyway.
Yeah,
Bell's
they know what they're doing.
Does such great beers, and I didn't even know this existed until the Christmas party. But it's their Christmas ale is just a Scotch ale.
Which already Ian loves.
I love the name.
It's a classic. It's a classic looking bottle.
Yeah. It's also a classic holiday
This traditional
taste.
Scotch ale is rich and malty with notes of caramel and a warm finish, certain to make any occasion festive or at least a bit more bearable. Enjoy with the company, friends, and family. I want to reach out to Bell's for just a moment. An open letter to Bell's.
Okay.
Bell's.
I sense this is coming from your heart.
I love you guys. Hold on. Do we need a little bit of?
We might. Yeah.
Bells, listen to me for a second. I love you guys. Your IPA is wonderful.
The Two-Hearted Ale.
The Two-Hearted Ale is amazing. Yeah. Even the Oberon. I'm not even a big fan of wheat beer, and your Oberon is pretty outrageous. The beer you do with the licorice is questionable, but everything else I absolutely love. But Scotch Ale doesn't have to be just for Christmas. Please make this all year.
Ah.
Yeah, why not?
I'm begging you all year.
So we had my plea to St. Arnold and your plea to Bell's all in the same show.
Yeah, just make it whenever spring comes around, just call it spring ale.
And I don't even need...
Whenever summer comes around, just call it summer ale.
And from my point, I don't even need year round. I just want the seasonal to come back. Sailing Santa. St. Arnold, are you listening? We got to get Jill on here. We got to get really we need to get Brock, the head because we can put him like to task, right? Brock, right. When are you gonna do Sailing Santa again? I mean,
Sailing Santa, what a brilliant idea that was.
Yeah.
But you're taking away from the fact that I just poured my heart out to Bell's to make more Scotch ale because this Scotch ale is brilliant.
It is really quite good.
It's like just the classic Scotch ale flavors.
And I get that they're like, oh, it's a Christmas ale.
Yeah.
That's an excuse, guys. I see right through you. And yes, I get that that's usually a more wintry thing, but I would drink this floating down a river in the summer. I would be very happy with it. If I could get a 12-pack of this in cans, buddy, there's almost nowhere I wouldn't bring it.
And I just want to say for those of you who are uninitiated when it comes to Scotch ales, do not be afraid of them. Scotch ales, good.
Yeah. Also
Scotch eggs, not so much.
Scotch eggs are delicious. Also known as a wee heavy, same thing. Scotch ale, wee heavy. So if you see those two things, same thing.
This is wonderful, though. This is, I knew when I picked some of that up for the Christmas party because I was in charge of stocking the Christmas party beers. You may have noticed there was no Bud Light. I
know. I was looking. I mean,
when I saw this, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting this because Ian is going to zero in on that."
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he's going to be all about it. And sure enough, you and I, after the party had long dispersed. you and I were sitting out on the balcony smoking cigars. And
I have to say,
this.
so not bad drinks. You brought the Scotch ale. I brought the Eagle Rare. We were doing okay.
It was a rock and play. We did, just so people know, our company Christmas party this year, we set up for the first time the Smokin Toastin whiskey bar.
Yes.
And what I did was I took a whole bunch of the bottles where we've got a little bit left from having done them on the show, and we put them in the whiskey bar and let people choose from them.
That was good.
Dang good whiskey bar.
It really was.
It was nice.
It was pretty darn good.
Nice.
And I think Terry, you brought didn't you bring
I brought the Bonded, the James Bond, Jack Daniels
which
Bonded.
I noticed was not still there at the end of the night, so I assume you took
it was?
it.
No, I didn't. I thought I left it for you.
Oh, well, I may have it somewhere. Then. I have to go back and look for it. All right. Well, I'll bring it in on the show and we'll enjoy it together.
Exactly.
So. Okay. Well, in that case, thank you and Merry Christmas.
Yes.
So this has been a really fun show. It's been a really fun year. Coming up next week.
I just want to point out that what you just said tells me you haven't unpacked from the Christmas thing yet.
A lot of stuff just went into a box. There was a lot of whiskeys.
I'm just reading between the lines there.
I think the bartender was even impressed with the whiskey selection.
He was
really impressed.
Wow, yeah. So he was also impressed that we didn't have Bud Light. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to us all year. On next week's show, our wine expert Mark Burrell joins us to talk about champagne and sparkling wine for New Year's.
That's going to be
we're
amazing.
Looking forward to that. Adam, thanks for being on the show.
I loved it.
It's fun
Thanks,
having
guys.
you
Thanks
on
for
this
having
side.
me.
And as we like to say at the end of every program,
Cheers, y'all.
Anybody else says, such a stubborn one, I think I'm in love with you.